Hi everyone, I wanted to talk to you today about the Kundalini Shakti awakening. So, we've been feeling and experiencing these intense energies and vibrations that are rising on this planet since the past months. And these energies really come to touch us in the deepest layers of our being. So many of us have been going through great liberations, great awakenings or healings, sometimes unexpected events, sometimes even a process of deep pain. So on a personal level, since the end of 2018, I've been really doing this work, and these energies really have come to touch the deepest layers of my ego, started to unravel all the layers of my ego, and until I really couldn't hang on to anything outside of myself anymore. And this process led me to experience what most people fear, which is this space that we call emptiness or the void. And while I was experiencing that emptiness or that void, I started feeling that my Kundalini Shakti was really waking up and started activating. And this created a kind of process in which I'm still in now, which I'm feeling this intense energy rising, and I know that a lot of people are going actually also through this process right now, so this is why I wanted to talk about this and also maybe offer some guidance and some help for those of you who are experiencing this, because it can be pretty intense. So I've been experiencing this energy, I've been feeling it inside me. I've also been having synchronicities and visions of serpents, dragons, and I see them coming into my pelvis area. And some of the signs that you might have when you go through this process is this, well, maybe the symbolism of serpents or dragons, but also the notion of movement. So you start moving almost without noticing sometimes. While you meditate, maybe you feel that your pelvis is going back and forth or from left to right, and maybe your whole body starts moving. So this can be a sign that this energy is awakening within you. What you might also experience are spasms in the body. You might experience waves of heat or waves of cold. You might experience physical pain. You might also experience like waves of intense joy and bliss, and on the other side waves of intense despair and sadness. You might also experience moments where you feel so connected to the whole, it's like you're melting with the divine, with the whole. And you can also experience third eye awakening, like having more visions and your intuition is getting stronger, and maybe you have these extrasensory perceptions that are opening. The Kundalini Shakti, also called the coiled power, is this vital energy that is coiled inside or around the first chakra, and it is in a dormant state for most of us until through this process of awakening it starts to wake up and it starts to activate and rise around the spinal cord, but also starts to diffuse inside the entire body. So the Shakti is traditionally a feminine energy, and it is the energy of creativity and fertility. So whether we are a man or a woman, doesn't matter. It is this creative force that we have within us, and it is the energy that actually creates life through sexual intercourse. So when it starts rising up, we will feel that it starts to kind of bump into all these emotional and energetical debris that we might hold inside our bodies, so inside the physical body, inside certain chakras and our meridians. So this can start to help us to liberate and transform and transmute all these debris, and sometimes it can also be pretty painful while we are in this process. So I will give you maybe a couple of tips that can help you if you're going through this process, just to help you to go more smoothly through this process. So some of us, when we experience this energy in an intense way, we can really feel that we have no reference points anymore, we feel ungrounded, we feel like we're going crazy, we feel a bit delusional. So one of the things that's going to really help us is to meditate. And when we meditate with this energy, it's very hard to stay completely still because this energy wants to move. So when we meditate, we should really allow this energy to circulate freely, so really allow this movement to take us wherever it wants to take us. So we might just start, like sort of undulating or even dancing, or starting to move the pelvis, starting to move the spine. And even, it can really go up to the head and also the arms. So if we feel that this movement really wants to express itself, then we should really allow this movement to unfold naturally. What will help us to do that is also to do some dancing, because the Kundalini Shakti loves to dance, it loves to undulate, and this really allows us to express this energy and not hold it back, so it can really just run freely through the entire body. Another practice that would be interesting is anything to do with energy work, so energy practice. So like yoga, tai chi, qigong of course is amazing to harmonize the energies and let it flow. Another important thing would be to regularly go to nature and connect with nature to make sure that we are grounded enough, because it can be a process and an experience that is very ungrounding. So making sure that we connect to nature and we ground ourselves is really going to help us to stay stable during this whole process. And another thing that's going to help us is to stay away from fast sugars, because fast sugars tend to stimulate the nervous system that is already overstimulated by the Kundalini Shakti, so it's really best not to eat too much fast sugars. I will leave at the end of the video a mantra, a specific mantra that you can practice daily to assist you with this Kundalini Shakti awakening. And we must also be aware of another unwanted side effect that we might have, which is the inflation of the spiritual ego. Because when we experience something so powerful as a Kundalini Shakti awakening, we might start having experiences that are really intense, and we start experiencing connections that we didn't make before, etc. So we must just be careful that the ego doesn't try to hijack that experience and starts to feel like super powerful and starts to feel like it understood everything, and therefore it feels superior to others. Because fundamentally it is an energy, it is the life force energy, so this life force energy, the ego cannot hold on to it, it's impossible. So we must just allow this energy, this life force energy to circulate and to embrace anything that it leads us to, and let this energy just guide us. So whether we are in this process of Kundalini Shakti awakening or we are still in this dormant state, all we have to do is just simply allow the things to happen naturally, and also just to embrace anything that might come up and anything that might be happening within us. So as I always say, every process, every awakening or healing process is very unique and personal, and there is nothing to block, there is nothing to force either. There is only to allow this, let's say, infinite intelligence of life run through us and guide us and express itself through us. Sat Nam.